Welcome to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. I want to welcome to the show. This is a good day, okay? We've got a change a-coming in America. And I am so happy that on the day that RFK was confirmed as the Secretary of HHS, I have two people sitting at my table who I know are awake and understand what time it is when it comes to how much Americans are being poisoned. So I want to welcome, of course, Matthew Marsden, BlazeTV contributor and actor and producer extraordinaire, along with Jaco, BlazeTV contributor, and of course, founder of Jaco Booyens Ministries, who, listen, Matt, I met you after I had met Jaco, right? We sat at that table and railed and railed and railed on so many things pertaining to the poison in the foods, the poison in the vaccines, the poison in all of these things. And so I know you're with me. Now you come along and you work with like my hero, Andrew Wakefield, in his movie. And you're like, holy crap, this is a true story. They've been doing this to us all this time.
Yep.
And so I love being surrounded on a day like today where I want to talk about what RFK is equipped to do, what he is poised to do when it comes to changing our country for the better, with two people who really absolutely understand what time it is. And so I want to go through this with you, but I want to first tell you guys, if you have not yet gone to saramerch.com, we're doing stuff every freaking day. Today, we just dropped our Maha Moms Club. There it is. Maha Moms Club gear, along with MAGA is for Lovers. Special for Valentine's Day. I mean, you won't get it on Valentine's Day because that's tomorrow, but you can buy it for Valentine's Day. Consider it a Valentine's Day gift for yourself or get it for your loved one. That's fine. But Maha Moms Club, we are so excited because Maha is happening. We are going to make America healthy again with RFK at the helm of Health and Human Services. Go get it at saramerch.com. So RFK was, as I just mentioned, confirmed officially. The vote was 52 to 48, I believe, at the end of it. It's funny watching the counter. It like dips down and dips up. And so that's where it ended. And I just want to remind everyone, at the opening of his confirmation hearing back in January, he's been saying it, repeating it on the stage all across the country, is just like, we are sick. We are a very sick nation. And what we're doing right now is not working and we need a change. Watch.
Today, Americans' overall health is in grievous condition. Over 70% of adults and a third of children are overweight or obese. Diabetes is 10 times more prevalent than it was during the 1960s. Cancer among young people is rising by 1 or 2% a year. Autoimmune diseases, neurodevelopmental disorders, Alzheimer's, asthma, ADHD, depression, addiction, and a host of other physical and mental health conditions are all on the rise, some of them exponentially.
And when you get to look at, like, how did we become so unhealthy? How did that happen? How are we so sick? Why is it that every time I go to, dailymail.com, there's another article about this young, healthy, super fit yoga instructor who got cancer? It's like, how did we get there? Because when you look at the top 5 countries with healthcare costs, there it is with all of the industrialized countries. There we are at the very tippy top there at 12,742. And, you can go down the line, but we're spending twice the global average. But we're not amongst the healthiest countries. Because if you want to look at the top 5 healthiest countries, you've got Singapore, Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, Israel, and then the US, not at the 6th, but the 74th. That's abysmal, you guys. Now, you look at all of these agencies that RFK is about to be the head honcho of, and you look at things like the CDC, which obviously needs complete reform. You look at things like the FDA, which, you know, I read this deep dive of all of the issues within the FDA. It's like the FDA repeatedly failed to take timely action on a wide range of safety and health issues the agency has been aware of for several years, including dangerous pathogens found in water used to grow produce, heavy metal contamination in baby foods, the PFAS, the PFAS substances. These are like the forever chemicals. They create this carbon fluorine bond that allows them to accumulate over time into bodies of animals, of people. It's just accumulating. They're not removing those, right? And you look at what is in our food and how sick it's making us. You look at like fast food, if you look at the same menu items in this country and then abroad, sometimes they're like twice as salty, twice the sodium levels, double the sodium levels in the United States as they are abroad. McDonald's 4-piece chicken nugget, 117% higher in the US than the UK. That's insane. Same company. That is insane. Burger King, kids hamburger, 18% higher in the US than the UK. Subway, meatball marinara sandwich. I don't know why the hell you'd want to get a meatball sandwich, and I don't know why you'd want to go to Subway. But if you did, it would be 58% higher in the United States than the UK. And when you maybe say, oh, well, it's just a little bit of salt. Well, excessive sodium consumption is linked to thousands of premature deaths in the US. Like, that's linked to major health problems. So you look at all of this and you know that the FDA took so long to recommend and adopt lower sodium levels in packaged and prepared foods. They had a study. The American Heart Association concluded that if the food and restaurant industries would have adopted the lower sodium levels presented in FDA's proposed 2-year and 10-year targets on the schedule, nearly 265,000 lives could have been saved between 2017 and 2031. They've also estimated that high sodium intake causes as many as 100,000 deaths from heart disease and stroke each year in the United States. These people have literally been killing us. Now, I realize I'm going off on a tangent here, guys, but if you will allow me just a few more points to make, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this. You know, something about our government poisoning its own citizens just riles me up, okay? Natural sweeteners that they have in this country are not much different than the artificial sweeteners. It's just the trickery in the language that they use, because when you look at the chemical composition of some of these sweeteners, they're like incredibly similar. And so you have these artificial sweeteners that are linked to obesity, type 2 diabetes, strokes, dementia. But they're like, but it's a Diet Coke. It's okay because it says diet. It doesn't have natural sugar in it. Well, no, because the artificial sweeteners are still causing an insulin response in your body. So you think that you're doing something healthy for yourself. It's 0 calorie. You're not. You're not. It's still causing the insulin response in your body. And then, of course, the fluoride. Okay? From our friend Stuart Cooper at the Fluoride Action Network, who I interviewed on this program, the National Toxicology Program published a systematic review of fluoride neurotoxicity, and it concluded that a large body of research linked to fluoride exposures to lowered IQ in children. I've been saying this for years, and they're like, that's not true. Prove it. Well, here it is. Out of 74 studies on fluoride and the brain, 89% found neurotoxicity. Now, couple that with the NIH. There's another one. The NIH, the National Institute of Health, has funded 10 studies on fluoride and the brain, and all 10 linked fluoride exposures to brain harm. Yet they are still putting it in your water. The CDC and the EPA admitted that there is 0 benefit to the fetus or bottle-fed infants because, you know, that's what they said. It's like, oh, well, they need it for their teeth. It makes their teeth stronger. No, they've already said that there's 0 benefit to a fetus or to bottle-fed infants because they have no teeth. There is literally only risk. That's it. You've got evidence of overexposure. 70+% of teens in the United States have visible signs of overexposure with dental fluorosis because they were overexposed to fluoride during infancy and childhood because they're putting it in your freaking water. So you look at all of this. You look at the fact that there is a fluoride alternative. There is a fluoride alternative. I might not try to say it. Nano hydroxyapatite, okay? 70% of your bones by weight is that, and we synthesize it into nano hydroxyapatite, which can be used to remineralize your teeth the same way as fluoride, but without the neurological risk. They don't care. I could go on, but these are just a few of the issues that, I mean, I could go on to the fact when you turn out a package at the grocery store and you look at it and you're like, oh, it says natural flavors. Those don't necessarily have to be natural, because the FDA doesn't make them actually tell you, well, it might have started out as natural, but it's undergone so much chemical processing, so much, and you have absolutely no idea what they did to that. But they just can put natural flavors on. I mean, it is insane what they are doing to this. So to everyone who wants to say, RFK is making us sicker, really? You think we can get much sicker than we already are now? What do you say we let someone else have a chance, have a crack at this? Because what you guys are doing isn't freaking working. I'm done.
No, I love it. No, but where do you start? I mean, I think this is one, especially considering you got two immigrants at the table, and there's one thing that we can talk about, and I can certainly say, this literally happened to me a few months ago. I went back to the UK, and look, there's a lot wrong with the UK, I can tell you that right now. But I was there and I'm like, do you know what? When I was a kid, I couldn't afford fish and chips, right? And so I had fish and chips every day. Now, they will tell you it is fish in batter with like carb overload, but every single day. I also went down the pub every single day with my sister and had a gin and tonic. I lost weight. I ate more there than I do here, and I lost weight. And that was so. And
not just that, you didn't have stomach issues.
Stomach issues.
You were not bloated.
No.
You don't have a gluten intolerance there all of a sudden. Every child in the UK doesn't have some sort of a freaking nut allergy because they treat the nuts in this country.
You can have a sandwich. Like all growing up, I had sandwiches. And here's the other thing. So I bought a bread maker recently, and I've been like making, because like I bought it from my wife, right?
Of course.
It didn't work, so I'm working. I make the bread.
Those gifts are not good gifts.
I know. It's like,
did you get her a vacuum?
I'm going to give you a gift to put you to work. Those don't work.
Hey, sweetie, I bought you a Peloton. It doesn't work. It's not good. No, but here's the thing, guys, and this is something crazy for Americans. Like, firstly, the good thing is there's a lot of choice. The bad thing is there's a lot of choice because there's so much competition. And what is happening is you're having, for example, so much sugar in because people are like, it's a drug. So you go to the sugar, and then what happens is people get diabetic, they get this, they get that, they get cavities in their teeth. So what do? Instead of saying don't eat the sugar, they say let's put fluoride in it because fluoride strengthens the teeth. And then that has a problem. And then there's a problem there. So
compounding.
And it goes like this, right? So if you are eating bread and it is not hard when you cut it the next day,
it's not bread.
Yep.
It's not bread.
Yep.
It's as simple as that, right? You know that I had my best. So you're going about this. I had the greatest drink of juice that I've ever had.
Yes.
In the world. Is Cape Town. And I was like, what is this?
It's called Ceres. It's the best Ceres in the world because it's not contaminated. The problem we have here is, and you're going to go, oh, here Jaco goes again. But it is. The root of all evil in the word of God is the love of money.
Yeah.
That's the root of all evil. Okay? So now you've got a completely broken food distribution matrix in America. Your produce comes from Yuma in Salinas Valley. It travels 7 days, but the bricks content in the produce you eat. When you buy strawberries, you throw a quarter of it away. Yep. Okay, because it has no nutritional value. Do you know that every apple in America goes into a sleeping chamber? Whether it's Costco or Walmart, I've been in them myself. I've stood there. They get put to sleep. The apples are 11 months old. Okay, your bananas are pulled from the tree where God's growing it. When it is hard as a rock, it goes into a ripening chamber where they ripen it with a gas. Every mango is imported from Mexico. I stood there with my own hand. It gets radiated. Mm-hmm. Organic is the biggest farce
Yes, it
in the
is.
world because this is what organic means. Because we happen to start a produce company, and I can't get into that right now. I know this intimately, okay? Organic means this in food, that the last 30% of the plant's life you cannot spray. It doesn't matter at that point. Like a baby, what you feed it when it's young is what goes into the DNA of the plant. They can spray. Monsanto can have a field day. They can round up the freaking plant all the way up until 30% end of its life, not spraying, certified organic. Bull crap. Absolute nonsense. The highest nut allergies in the world. There's no other nation in the world where every kid is having an anaphylactic reaction for who knows what. It's only here. Money. Salt does what? Makes you thirsty. Salt does what? Makes you hungry. What does it also do? Jacks up your kidneys, jacks up your liver.
Don't worry, they have a prescription for that.
There's a prescription for that. Oh, there's a doc in a box. Oh, we'll ship it to your house. It is compounding. And if you dare say alternative medicine, well, you're tinfoil hat. You're a loony bin, right?
Quack.
Today is even better of a day because I'm super excited about today. RFK's confirmed. We're going to get into someone else later that had her hearing. I don't want to jump ahead of you, but there's someone else. Because with HHS comes the USDA, the Department of Ag, and that's Brooke Rollins. And Brooke, with RFK, they're going to bring middle America back. You Idaho potato farmers, you're going to be able to grow real food again. You're going to be able to say, oh, Gates, get out of here. Get behind me, Satan. You're not going to treat the soil. Our soil is so contaminated in this country that most of the farmland should rest. Literally, just rest because they've treated the soil. This is going to be beautiful. It's going to take a minute.
Oh, sure.
Because you can't just fix it because we don't. Go to London, go to South Africa. Every single day in South Africa, you go to the butchery and the bakery. And you buy milk and bread every day.
Every day.
Because if you don't eat it today,
It goes bad.
or it grows mold.
Yeah.
When last did you see bread grow mold in your kitchen?
Oh, I know.
It can't.
I know. Well, not my kitchen. I have a bread machine, too.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. But you
Stephen
can't.
buy it for you. Did you, Stephen?
He did. He's not here today.
Oh, darn it. Okay.
But you understand what I'm saying, though, right? That's the test. It doesn't grow mold because it's not food.
Yep. I read a story about how I think this is what I know we got to go to break here in a second, but I think this was when I was just like, I did ask for it. I said, Stephen, I really would like a bread maker because I was reading a story about some guy from Italy. It's the same thing that you guys are talking about. He went on a hike with his friends and his friends packed bread and he was like, this is so crazy. We're gone for 14 days and your bread hasn't grown any mold. What the hell is going on? What are you guys putting in that bread? And he looked at it and he was just astounded because he was like, I can't eat bread that lasts 14 days. That's crazy. And I was reading it and I was just like, I can't believe I've been doing this for, I mean, I don't really eat bread in my family. We eat very little bread, but I'm just like, I can't believe I haven't thought about this by now. Stephen, we need a bread maker. And so, but it's like, it's just, you guys are talking about going to go get milk and go to the bakery every day. And that's like unheard of in this country.
We don't have the infrastructure.
No.
I don't know that most Americans that are watching this has been in a real bakery.
No, probably not.
A bakery. They don't buy their bread from the bakery. They buy it from a grocery store that's in a distribution matrix with distribution centers.
Right. Yeah.
We're distributing food like we distribute T-shirts.
Right.
Like Amazon.
Yeah.
It's
It's crazy.
insane.
It's crazy.
Let me just say
Yeah,
this.
last
And
word.
Jaco will say this. Jaco will testify to this. You will never get an apple this big anywhere else on the planet, right? But here. Nowhere else. Like normally they're yay big and you take one bite of it and it is the tastiest thing you have ever tasted in your life.
It does not have taste, by the way.
None.
They got to load it with sugar,
None.
like Starbucks. Starbucks is the worst coffee on the planet. They fracture that bean twice. They burn it to smithereens to create uniformity, and then they load it up with sugar. You buy sugar at Starbucks. You're not buying a good cup of coffee. It's crap.
Yeah.
It's sugar.
Yeah. Which, just a reminder, sugar is poison. And a lot of you out there who are like, well, just in moderation, why don't you add up all of that moderation that you claim that it is? Because I can guarantee you it's a heck of a lot more than you think that it is that you're consuming when you do actually add it all up. Stop giving your kids poison, please. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick break. We'll be back with more, but want to thank our sponsor, Relief Factor. So Relief Factor has worked for everyone sitting at this table. Couldn't have planned that better if I did it myself. So Jaco's used it. Jaco's mother has used it. It's worked. It's worked for both of them. Matt uses it. It's worked for him too. And he had really severe neck problems, back problems, not that long ago. And Relief Factor has worked for him. It's worked for me as well. It's really simple. It's an all-natural anti-inflammatory. So it's not like a pain medication that's going to make you feel loopy. It's just that it's going to get to the root cause of your pain. So you're not going to mask it. You're actually going to eliminate it. Go get their 3-week quick start. It's $19.95 and you've got nothing to lose except your pain because it's backed by a guarantee. So it's $19.95. You can get it at relieffactor.com. I'm telling you guys, it's life-changing to get out of pain. Relieffactor.com. Want to remind you guys, if you have not yet already, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure that you hit that like button, smash that like button, insert whatever verb you'd like, but just hit the like button, okay? Make sure it helps us in the algorithm. Comment, you know the deal. Subscribe. Yes, I'm going to say it again. We make literally $0 from this program on YouTube. We're completely demonetized. We're working on it, but we say all the truth.
None of us make any money on YouTube.
We say when you say truth, they don't want to, they don't like that. They don't like that, which is again, why we're so excited about RFK coming in, because a lot of those truths that we've been talking about for years now were what got me demonetized in the first place. So Pam Bondi, our new Attorney General, Pam Bondi she has coming in with quite a hammer now that she has been officially confirmed and sworn in. And I want to play her announcement towards the New York officials who refuse to aid or assist with illegal alien enforcement. Watch.
We're here today because we have filed charges against the state of New York. We have filed charges against Kathy Hochul. We have filed charges against Letitia James and Mark Schroeder, who is with DMV. This is a new DOJ, and we are taking steps to protect Americans, American citizens, and angel moms, like the mom standing right behind me, who you're going to hear from in a moment. New York has chosen to prioritize illegal aliens over American citizens. It stops today. As you know, we sued Illinois, and
Let's go.
New York didn't listen. So now you're next.
Let's go.
Whoo!
Oh, yeah.
Go down the list. Take them all.
I mean,
Newscom. I'm so glad they went after J.B. Pritzker in Illinois, New York. Name them all, Pam. Go.
Law and order is back in town, okay? And they're not messing around. Again, for that particular position, I wanted it to be our very own Attorney General here in the state of Texas, Ken Paxton, so badly. But I am so happy to see her just in action immediately. Now, you heard her name the DMV commissioner, Mark Schroeder, which was like everyone in the world collectively was probably like, huh? Who? What? Yeah. So apparently New York has a green light law that they passed in 2019. And the green light law was enacted to improve public safety on the roads because people without licenses would drive without one, right? Or without having passed a road test. And the state makes it easier for holders of such licenses to get auto insurance, thus cutting down on crashes involving uninsured drivers. So the illegal aliens.
Such a lie.
It's
such a lie.
Not, hey, you can't drive. You don't know how to drive. We'll just insure you.
Right.
Then you're not an uninsured accident waiting to happen.
Yeah. So
they don't get insured anyway. They don't get insured anyway. That's the point. They don't do it.
So illegal aliens are getting their licenses because license applicants without a valid social security number can submit alternative forms of ID, including valid passports and driver's licenses issued in other countries.
But Sarah, if you can vote without an ID, why wouldn't you be able to get a license?
That's crazy.
They want them to vote in presidential elections. It is nuts.
It's so nuts. So
Here's my international driver's license that who cooked up in some counterfeit shop somewhere.
also, listen, I have not been to many places abroad, but I have been to Mexico. Do not ever want to go back, but I have been to Mexico, and like they drive a little differently than us.
Yes.
Go to China. Go to China. Just so people know, in China, they line up across the entire 2 lanes
Yes.
or however many lanes, and the other side line up like that, and then they just go for it.
Play chicken.
It's honestly, it's one of the most sphincter puckering things you will ever experience in your life.
You know, but you know the most accidents on the road, it's actually Dominican Republic, where they load up 7-8 people on one moped and come in the opposite direction. I've had 32 trips to the DR, right? It is absolutely bonkers. So you do understand that cultural aspect comes with.
Yeah.
If you don't assimilate, become American to standards, no, you pass a driver test over here, they're going to drive like that here.
Yep.
Go up the wrong way.
Yep.
Cut across.
Well, just like the Haitians that were in Springfield, that they were like, they're crashing everywhere. They're getting
They're eating
cars
the
in their
dogs. They're eating the cats. They're driving terribly. We can't have it. They don't know how to drive. Let me tell you something. I'll just tell you as quick as I
I
can.
love this show, by the way.
When I was waiting,
fun.
when my wife was waiting for our green card to come, quick story. When my wife was waiting for our green card to come, you get what's called a temporary green card, which is kind of stupid, really. I mean, because they give you a card while you wait for the
gives
card.
you a
it's either the
travel
card or
permit.
not.
You get a travel permit, you can go home and come back. We've been there, yeah.
So anyway, they give you that, and I go to the DMV because my wife's driving license expired. And I walked in, and I swear to you, like the LA DMV was like I was in Mexico City, right? It was all Mexicans in there. Sorry, it's just true. All right. And I walked to the front, and I said, here's my, because I went with my wife. I was like, there's her temporary green card. There's the letter from the immigration attorney, blah, blah, blah. And they said, no, you can't have a driving license. That is not valid. And I'm like, it's a temporary green card. It's no joke. And I just want to put this out there for the people watching. They refused, and then they called security, and I turned around, I'm like, you're going to have to get 2 bigger people than that. I can tell you that right now. But anyway, we left. She was denied her driving license, and everyone was like, just drive. Everyone else is. I took 4 months off work because I said, I'm not coming to America and breaking the law. And I drove our kids around for 4 months. They didn't give my wife the driving license.
Trying to do it legally.
Right.
Doing it legally.
That's the system.
Doing it legally.
Right.
But illegally,
you get rewarded.
I turned around and I
That's
said,
crazy.
are you telling me that all these people are here legally? And they said, we don't give driver's license to illegals. I'm like, whatever. Like, whatever. Honestly. But again, that's the frustration.
Is this under Bush?
No, this was under Obama.
Okay.
This was under Obama. Yeah. Yeah. But, it's incredibly frustrating because you try and do it the right way. And by the way, when I went back, there was a woman right the way over the back. I'm like, it's the DMV, right? What are you going to do? And she comes over and this is what she said to me. I'm not saying this is true or not, but this is what she said to me. She said, I remember you from last time. Because obviously, and she said,
Made a scene.
yeah, a little bit. But she goes,
She called security before she said that.
do you know what she said? She said, this is what she said. She said, we do not have a section in our computer to put in temporary green card. And that's why you didn't get it. Because we don't cater for you.
Right.
And I was like, what?
Wow.
I was better off sticking with my I'd already got a visa.
Yeah.
So I was still on my visa.
Yeah. You would have been better.
Punished for
To
doing
the-
it right.
To the point, I think all that is about to change. Pam Bondi, go sue them seven times sideways, make them pay, make their life. What did they do to Donald Trump? They made the man's life a living hell. Just like you and I over there when they came after Cuomo. Finally.
Yeah.
And he was complaining how difficult his life is now. I'm like, you did this, buddy.
Yep.
you and your brother did this. Now you're going to feel it a little bit, right? So, yeah, Letitia James, of all people. I mean, come on.
And you know what? It's
We're
going to be a pincer movement, because what you're going to see now with USAID and all the other stuff coming out, you're going to see where the money's coming from. You've already seen it with what they said. What was it? 49 million to the hotels, or 59 million to the hotels. What you're going to do is you're going to see Pam Bondi come in like this. And then you're going to see Doge like finding out where all this money's coming from. Because how many times have we sat there and we're like, why are they doing this? Like, they're literally destroying their own city. Why are they doing this? I mean, we know why they went after Trump. But what's going to happen is, mark my words, they are going to find out that they have been funded. And Bondi is going to uncover it as well as the other side.
Well,
That's what's going to happen.
The American taxpayer, I've said this for years and years. If you really do a pure, intellectually honest tax calculation, we may be one of the highest taxed group of people in the world.
Yeah.
If you really add it up.
Sure.
Property tax,
Yeah.
capital gains, money spent out the wazoo to fund who knows what, Taliban, and what kind of a study of sex hormones for some prisoner in some other country. If you really add it up, the American citizen has been financially raped.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It's got to stop
Yes, absolutely.
right now.
All right, let's go ahead and take a quick break. We'll be back with more. Want to thank our sponsor, this segment, Jace Medical. So Jace Medical is there for those of you who understand the need to be prepared, because whether it's a natural disaster or maybe it's just honestly like a supply chain issue, it's totally unpredictable. And when you have essential medications that are delayed, I would call that an emergency. All right. So go to jace.com. They provide emergency medical kits that are customized to your specific needs. So maybe you're traveling and you want to make sure you have something in case, your kids get sick. Honestly, maybe you just don't like, I don't know. I don't want to go to urgent care on a holiday for my kid's ear infection because I know they have an ear infection and they need, antibiotics. So Jace has, of course, the 5 essential life-saving antibiotics that come in this case, and then you can customize it. And right now they're holding giveaways all month long to make sure that you can have the right medications on hand the moment that you need them. So they've got the travel case, the Jace Go, and also the fully custom Jace case. Go there. You need to be prepared. Go there, jace.com. You can enter their giveaway and purchase your own case while you're at it. It's code Sarah at checkout for a discount on your order. That is promo code Sarah at jase.com.
No.
So, of course,
What is going on here? I'm sorry. We're halting the show for a second. I cannot just do that. You cannot just do
the
that.
conversations that we have off air. I probably should just record it from some other camera.
It's the greatest reality show.
It's so funny.
No, we'd get banned. From
It's
everything.
so good. It's
Sorry,
so
you
good.
got to clean that up after the show for me and understand what just happened here.
Yeah, we'll give you the details.
Okay.
So.
What in the world?
So Linda McMahon, you alluded to this
Yes.
earlier. Linda McMahon started her confirmation hearings today. And I would say that they went rather tame, but it's the left and they're a little cuckoo. So, of course, there were a little protesting action going on. Here's some of that.
Very good. Let me ask you about
I'm a teacher, and this
The senator will suspend.
will be terrible for my district.
The committee will come to order. Capitol Police are asked to remove the individual from the hearing room.
Happened 3 times.
Terrible.
Members of the audience are reminded that disruptions will not be permitted.
Gonna be terrible. It's gonna be awful. So obviously, President Trump has made his intentions very clear when it comes to the Department of Education. He said specifically he wants Linda McMahon to work herself out of a job. You read between the lines on that. Let's listen to some of what President Trump has had to say about the Department of Education. Watch.
The Department of Education's a big con job. We're ranked, so they rank the top 40 countries in the world. We're ranked number 40th, but we're ranked number 1 in one department, costs per pupil. So we spend more per pupil than any other country in the world, but we're ranked number 40. We've been between 38 and 40. The last time I looked, it was 38. And then I looked 2 days ago, it came out the new list. It came out at number 40. So we're ranked 40.
But don't worry. They're teaching your kids how to be gay and trans, and if you're white, you're racist, and all of the other kooky crap that they're doing. And I just want to take a look at some of the, I would say maybe issues in school districts across the country, which is why we're like abolish the Department of Education, one of many reasons why. But let's look at Penfield Central School District in New York. A kindergartner reportedly came home with a book about attending an LGBTQ pride parade, and that book included naked people, men in bondage fetish gear. And parents were like, hey, we would like an explanation for this. I mean, we're paying, our tax money is paying to send our kids to this school, and you guys are exposing them to this. And you will be shocked to see how the board reacts to these parents. Watch.
It's important to know that when Dr. Potter said that no one has objected, we have the policy in place, right? The procedures in place. There's a That is not how you object. So you cannot, again, follow by what we have asked you to do. We will ask for you all. We will ask those people who cannot do that to be removed. We are here at our board meeting, right? Conducting our
board meeting.
You guys,
it's our board meeting. They're my kids.
She said it. She said the truth.
We're going to a recess. Can I have a motion? Thank you.
Bunch of child abusers.
Yep. And they just get up and walk out.
Oh, they should walk off for good.
That should be immediate.
Primary every single one of them. Remove every single one of them. If I may.
Sure.
I was very, very pleased and very proud of Linda McMahon today. I watched the whole hearing. We had some communication last night. I will say this. The left came in today thinking this is the one thing. They couldn't get RFK. They couldn't get Pete Hegseth. They couldn't. And education is their thing. That's where they've implanted in the indoctrination camps. And they were going to come after Trump through Linda McMahon saying, you're going to take things from children. And early on, she said, we're not cutting any funding from the child. And you could see the air leave the room. Mm-hmm. You could see them. Bernie Sanders, Bernie was like, and she's like, we're not cutting funding from kids. As a matter of fact, we don't need the Department of Education because they don't educate. They don't educate. They get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars. The teachers get paid nothing. Bernie's like, well, don't you think teachers should get paid? She goes, absolutely, but not the Department of Ed. When they came to Pell Grants, she's like, Pell Grants, absolutely, even for the trades, even for certificates. They were so unprepared because they wanted to paint the narrative that Trump's going to steal from the child. Mm-hmm. No, it's not what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Title IV, Title I, Title IX. They went down the list and she's like, we're not taking money from children. To where even some very liberal senators are like, we agree on this. It's like, yeah, but we're taking money from D.C.
Yeah,
it's going to go to the states, right? I thought she was meticulously composed when they went after her with the WWE in a lawsuit that her husband is involved with, right? She played right past it, took the wind out of their sails, went right past it, went back to the child. It was a massive victory for the future of education in this country, for taking the power out of Washington, D.C., taking the taxpayers' money. The money follows the child, school choice, and not just for colleges. You want to trade and it's going to the trade, go to the trade. You want an apprenticeship, go in an apprenticeship. It was stunning to watch them not know where to go. And then they try to get her on, well, you're going to abolish the whole thing. She's like, wait a minute, it's an act of Congress. And when she said that, they had nowhere to go.
Nothing to say.
Nowhere to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with the RFK confirmation. It's like, well, I mean, so guys, what we're doing isn't working. As you heard Donald Trump say, we're spending way too much money and getting zero return because you're making our kids gay and retarded, basically. So maybe, call me crazy, maybe we should let someone else try it for a change and see if we get different results.
What we are seeing is the first time, is certainly in my lifetime, that you're watching Democrats not be on the offensive like they normally are, because the Republicans are normally so spineless.
Yeah.
When anything comes to them, they try and explain their way out of it, right? They don't want to be the bad guys. They think it's all about the optics. And what Trump's done is he's rewritten the rules because he's like, listen, I don't care anymore. I'm here to do a job, which, by the way, every single politician should be thinking like that anyway. It's just you've got a bunch of advisors there that are like, don't say that, don't be saying that, because you know what? You don't want to be primaried, you don't want to be this. Right now, the majority of Democrats are looking at Doge. They're looking at Doge and they've got one eye on it. They're like, they're going to come for me. They're going to come for me because they're on the take.
That came up many times today. It came up many times in Linda's hearing, Doge. But I will say there's something brilliant. You just said something about Donald Trump this time around. I want to give credit where credit is due. Right when he was removed from the White House, America First Policy Institute, which is Linda McMahon, Brooke Rollins, Stacey Shefflin, went to work. Do you know that there's not a single cabinet secretary at the moment that needed to be introduced to one another? They've been working together for 4 years.
Yeah.
For 4 years, they've been crafting together. You know, they've been behind, even RFK. AFPI worked with RFK. They've been working together on one plan. For the first time maybe ever, the conservatives are on the offense and you can sprint because 100 executive orders plus was pre-written.
Yeah.
It was thought through, and it's just like crank it out.
Yeah.
So they're composed. They trained them well. Every single one of these opening testimonies.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. All right. We've got to take a quick break. I want to remind you guys, the cover up, it's episode 4 of the cover up. It's called Smoking Gun. It is awesome. It is like, you are going to learn things about Anthony Fauci that you did not know. And it's going to enrage you, but you're also going to be happy because we're uncovering it over at FauciCoverup.com/Sarah. You can use code Smoking Gun for $30 off of your subscription. That's FauciCoverup.com/Sarah. Sara Gonzales Unfiltered watchers, steer clear of Worcester, Massachusetts is all.
Yeah.
You don't want anywhere near there. All right, that's all I'm saying. Thank you, guys.